Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Apologize for the delay on the start. Uh, it has been an absolutely chaotic morning and just really, really busy. So that's why like my posts talking about going live were delayed. Hey, David. Um, yeah, it has just been a morning. Like I already feel like I need a nap. uh, so let's go ahead and uh, figure out what we're going to do today in Final Fantasy XIV. So I do want to talk about some of the updates that they had made in 7.1, or not 7.1, oh my god. 7.1 was forever ago. 7.5. 7.5. I promise I'm awake. Uh, uh, in 7.5, that maybe got a little overlooked. And the reason I say maybe got overlooked was because I am one of those people that completely and totally overlooked it. But it's still something to be absolutely excited about. One of the things is that in housing, they did expand the capacity at the very least. I know it's not the Mary Poppins housing where you can adjust the size of the interior or anything like that. But now with large housing, for instance, so I am in my free company's large house. The limit went up to 600. Originally, that limit was 400 items on the inside. Now that is up to 600. I haven't necessarily looked at like all of the items. But yeah, like the waterfall partition, some of these items are still going to have caps on them, like what we see with the, I'm going to move it so that way it's not by my character here. The description of the waterfall partition, it's really, really small on my screen, but it has a little asterisk and it says up to 20 may be placed in a single estate. That is just because there are a lot of extra animations that are happening with the waterfall partition. And just to see what that looks like, that would be behind this chair here. All that water trickling down, that is a lot of extra animation. So having too many of those in the house can cause a lot of rendering issues. So we're still going to see the limitations on things like that, but we do have increased limit. And all of those limits, it doesn't just apply to large housing, it does apply to other housing as well. So for instance, I have a small personal plot. Oh, good thing I'm going to my personal house because it's like, you haven't been in your house at all. It may be scheduled for demo. So nice reminder to make sure you step in your house, make sure you interact with things every once in a while, so that way you don't get demoed. And small houses, it went from 200 up to 300, so you can get more items in there. And then for apartments and free company rooms, those are the same size. The cost difference is just whether it's tied to a free company house or whether you're in that free company or not, or whether you just want an independent house. And a whole separate teleport location. So, yeah, I made my apartment super inky dinky. It's actually pretty large. Just to give an idea, like there's a whole bunch that's clipped out there. There's a whole bunch that's cut out back here. Like I definitely crammed a bunch in that tiny little space, but they give you 50 extra spots. So I could cram 50 more things in this tiny little area if I really wanted to. But as I said, like they didn't do the expanded housing or anything like that quite yet. They're going to come out with that later. But that's like one of the small side things that they came out with. I wanted to go ahead and pop into the housing. Because I remember recently we were talking about Poetic Dump. And one of the things that I brought up is one of my go-to poetic dumps is soil. Soil is still useful even if, like, for instance, like here, I have flower pots, and even though I have nothing in them, getting some special soil can still be helpful and useful. I'm going to teleport to Idleshire. Now, right now, it's not my actual go-to dump because I still don't have all of the Endwalker relics. But it is a dump that I still do. Dang it, I accidentally... I'm just hitting the wrong buttons. All over the place. Anyhow, you can get some of those nice soils without having to go to the market board. By going to Idleshire and talking to the Tombstone Exchange person here, and you can exchange them for... I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't think it was other. It's been so long. Special arms. That's what I wanted. And there's these various unidentifiable objects. Okay. And what these unidentifiable objects are going to be useful for is going over to this Primal Gear Exchange and turning it in with uncanny knickknacks. And the top two options are your Shroud Soil and your Thanalan Topsoil. With your Shroud Topsoil and your Thanalan Topsoil, they are useful for different things. Grade 3 is the top grade for each of those. I like doing this because it keeps me from going to the market board, and it also keeps me from only getting one every hour and having to watch a timed node for long periods of time for these. There are different uses for them. Honestly, when I am working in if I'm working in my free company room or if I'm working in my apartment, excuse me, and you're just working with a planner, you're just going to want potentially Shroud Topsoil, because it increases the likelihood that plants will yield more crops. And now what I like to do with those, and this is also true even if I'm working in like my private house or anything like that, but I'm going to go ahead and, I'll just go to my house because at least my house is not quite so cramped on space. But with those, one of the things that's actually really, really nice for gardening is planting crafting shards. Hey, Felicia! Anyhow, what I do with those... Whoops, I don't even have seeds or soil. As you can see, I have actually quite a bit of topsoil. I actually don't think I have any of those seeds. But what I can always do, if I don't have any seeds for planting shards, it's a good thing to send retainers on, particularly your gathering retainers. It's a pretty low level venture that you can send them on. So I'm going to assign her a venture. I think it's like, maybe it's a little bit lower. There we go. It's actually a lot lower than I thought. So they're level 20 ventures. It's going pretty good, Felicia. How are you doing? But depending on what inventory, what shards you might need. So like for instance, I'm low on ice shards personally, or if you're just wanting to sell them on the market, you can send them on ventures to get those seeds for you, and then you can plant those with Shroud Soil, and you're going to get a lot of extra shards for it. Particularly at the drop of new expansions, these can sell really well and really easily on the market board, because a lot of people are doing a ton of crafting and leveling and stuff, and they're going to burn through those shards really fast. And if they're lazy like me sometimes, and if I am like if I don't have enough of that soil, or if I don't have the seeds or anything like that, and I'm like, no, I really want to craft now, I will just buy them on the market. So it's an easy way to make it. The other one, the Fanland topsoil, is more useful if you actually have a full-on house. And the reason that is because of crossbreeding. Now, before I go into crossbreeding, one reason why I like the shards so much is because they grow in less than a day, so you don't even have to worry about watering them. Whereas if it takes more than one day, you have to water them, otherwise they're going to shrivel up and die. What I have planted out here outside of my house is things that I use for crossbreeding Thavnarian onions, which is another thing that can sell really well at the drop of an expansion. I'm trying to remember. Okay, star anise needs to stay, and it's the earthing tea leaves. Let me clear a little bit out. But anyhow, the Thanaland topsoil is going to increase the chances of it properly crossbreeding. Otherwise, it's not going to crossbreed. So you do want to have some sort of Thanaland topsoil, and the recommendation is grade 3, because grade 3 is going to give you the absolute best chance of it properly crossbreeding. And there are websites and stuff that go into particular crossbreeds and all that stuff. Welcome back, David. Some of them can be more tricky than others. One reason why I feel like Thanaland topsoil ends up not being as useful, and Thavnarian onions end up costing so much, because Thavnarian onions are a pretty hard cross to do, because you always have a different thing that you could do. Honestly, haven't quite decided. So far, I'm really been talking about another opportunity for poetic dump beyond just going to not the Tuliolo, to Radzat Han and dumping them on Endwalker Relic, or dumping them on Grand Company seals. That's all I have done so far. Because yeah, my main one at the moment has actually been going here to Radzat Han and just being like, hey, you, lady, I need more of these things so I could get more relics. I don't even remember where I'm at on these relics, to be completely honest, because it's been a while. Probably need... honestly, I don't even remember. It would be so helpful if I had even, here we go. Make another Manderville. Wants me to get Enderinium. Oh, and I was doing it for Dragoon. I was doing this for Dragoon? I got far enough to do this for Dragoon? Really? I'm doing pretty good, David. How are you doing? Thank you, Felicia. Have a good day at work. Thanks for joining me. The reason I'm so surprised I have this for Dragoon is I'm like, rarely ever played Dragoon. But I was probably like, I wanted a new shiny relic for Dragoon, I'm guessing. Can't blame you. Cannot blame you. My last job, fortunately, like I absolutely loved my last job, but I worked from home, and they were kind enough to also let me be a work from home mom. But it made it stressful because I was taking care of my kid and I was working, but I got to stay at home. And I honestly, I thrive in a work and home environment. I know not everyone does. And I know some people are like, oh, you could just do whatever you want and just get absolutely nothing done and all that stuff when you work from home. But honestly, I was always like super hyper productive in work and home environments. I always had a harder time telling myself to stop working anytime I work from home. But my last job, like I was a former teacher, and my last job I was doing curriculum development, and I just that is my jam. And I absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, they had cutbacks last year, and pretty much my entire department got completely wiped out. Which absolutely sucked. But been still applying for a lot of remote curriculum jobs and making a little headway on all that. Yeah, budgets in education are just, they're abysmal. Like, I had looked at, because I used to teach higher ed, and I had looked at going back into higher ed and stuff, but I'm like, the amount of work that they want for teaching at the pay that they want to put it at, I'm like, no, absolutely not. I won't do that anymore. Yeah, it's it's an absolute horror. Like, at least I will say, as far as teaching higher ed, the good thing is you don't have as much to deal with parents, because at the very least with them, they come barking at your door, you just yell FERPA and just say, FERPA, I can't talk to you. Like, that was the absolute good thing. Yes, they do want to pay you like so little, and you work so much. Like, I hit a point where I was teaching more than anybody else in my department, and I also had curriculum development responsibilities. I had a whole bunch of extra responsibilities on top of all the extra that I was teaching, and I was still making less than quite a bit of my department. And I was like, no, this ain't good. This ain't good. Like, it was, such a nightmare. Such a freaking nightmare. Mandarindium. Okay, we're gonna grab 3 of these. And, like, fortunately, like, just about everyone that I worked with was pretty understanding that, like, it was not a good environment. It was not good for me. It was just bad. And yeah, I looked at positions for going back there elsewhere in other capacities and stuff, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna get suckered back into the exact same pit that I was in before. It's so unfortunate that they just don't get the budget that they need. Like, they need a much better budget. Yes, Gerald, that is another masterpiece. It doesn't really go with my fiery caster headpiece that I have on Dragoon, but hey. It works. It works. Yeah, I am also glad I'm out of that environment. I left about 3 years ago, and it's been nothing but good for my mental health. Like, there are definitely still times I struggle with my mental health, but it's definitely better for my mental health. Yes, I will take this quest on as Dragoons, that way I at least have a start on the next part. Another area that I really wish that they would invest more in is in, like, our nurses and stuff. Like, healthcare makes so much money. It's really frustrating that our nurses and our CRNs and our respiratory therapists and all of our medical people that are supposed to, like, they're advertised as, oh, they're just a supportive role. They do so much. They need more money. Like, it's absolute crap. They don't make more than what they do. There's the reason I was doing Dragoon. The first step of the relic was better than the dragoon weapon I had on. I mean, the other pieces that I have are halfway decent because I also did stuff as Reaper, but my weapon was so bad. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't even... Okay, hold on. I want to see how bad my samurai weapon is, because samurai is probably in a similar boat. Yep. Almost 100 item levels below the item level cap for level 90. Yeah, that's insane. Okay. Okay. that definitely... That explains why I was doing that, because... Yeah, it's like... You get a 665 out of it by the end. And I was using a 570. Oh no. Oh no. Anyhow, that's my main poetic dump at the moment, and then after that I do soils. I am perfectly fine on all my soils at the moment. So it allows me to do my dumping on relics, but I feel like I can... I always am in need of some sort of crystals, so being able to... Or I'm sorry, shards. Guarding some of those shards can be so helpful. And then I like to keep my free company stocked with Thavnari and onions at the very least. Like, even if I'm not... Because, as I've said in past streams, I don't like flipping on the market board. I'm just not good at it. There's always someone that's going to come in and undercut me like seconds after I've put something up, so I don't bother too much with the market board. I really focus on things that I could use, or those or anything that my community can use. Like, that's just my focus. Let's see. I also had... Yes, I was like, I could swore I also had mathematics tomes to dump. Let's at least dump those. And I can get... nuts dumped out. That way if a hunt train does happen to pop, I'll be ready. Or I'll be ready for that. So knowing my luck, I was honestly very surprised on Friday that a hunt train managed to pop. And not just pop, but it was even on my server. Let's see. So I am... Honestly, I probably can't even use much of anything on here, because I've already made all of my stuff, but there are framer kits. I don't have these framer kits. Let's go grab a couple of these framer kits just to have something to dump it on without having to look things up. The reason I didn't dump it on mats for gear and all that stuff was because I already invested a lot in making my gear for a whole bunch of different classes. So I probably don't need to invest that much more in those. So I was like, I'll get the framer kits because I can actually stand to use the framer kits. And I need to clean up my inventory. Sure. Get these damn gems out. Like ones that I end up getting so many of that I'm like, I know they aren't going to sell for anything on the market board, so not even going to bother with. I apparently have a whole bunch of eggs from Easter that I did not even bother spending. I don't need those emeralds. Hope those were from Pilgrim's Traverse. Why do I have this just sitting in my inventory? Let's see. Oh. There's a hunt train. It's an Endwalker one. Moving from Palakistan and Thavnair. I guess I will just teleport there, see if anyone's even there. Before I throw up a party finder for that. Just wanted to make sure that like people were actually going to join it and stuff. This will give a good demonstration of how much lower daytime hunt trains can be. But this one should just be, based upon the announcement, should just be Endwalker. Because the conductor already ran one for Dawn Trail couple hours ago, so there's no way that the marks are already ready. Whoops, I'm in Discord. So exciting when you look over to your party and you see nothing but blue. It's like everybody's got to be a tank. Let's see. So I can make sure I get what time. So it should be starting in 3 to 5 minutes from now. So if anyone needs or is like, you know what, I'm going to take a break or needs to go do anything or anything like that, now's a good time to do that. Typically with these, one of the reasons the conductors try to give so much time is because of spending currency and everything. I think I should be okay as far as my nuts currency goes, since it's only going to be one expansion's worth. Now, if this was a, if this was 3 expansions like what I had the other day, then I probably would want to spend some of these nuts. But I'm probably not. I don't think I'm going to cap. Like just do the math here. because I'm too tired to do it mentally at the moment. So 40. So even if there are 16 marks up, that'll give me 640. So it's like, yeah. So hunt trains, basically, when a rare elite mark comes up, there are 3 different types of rare elite marks. There are B ranks, A ranks, and S ranks. With B ranks, those are typically just regular hunts that you can do individually. So like here, I go to a hunt board and I get like an individual bill. I could go more into the individual bills after this train. But typically with A ranks, you need a party, and those parties organize into a train like what is about to happen here. And basically what we do is we join into a party, like what I have here, and we collectively take down these different A rank marks. We just hop from zone to zone where these A ranks are, take them down, and you get a decent amount of currency for them. Depending on the expansion that they're from, you will get hunt currency, and you will also get tombstones. So this train is going to be working on A ranks from Endwalker. So I should be getting some tombstones. Not very many, just some. And I will also be getting stacks of nuts. The allied seals come from a Realm Reborn hunt marks. The Trio seals come from Heaven's Ward and Stormblood, and then but take this one a little bit more seriously just because there aren't very many people. But what we want to do is we want to take down this mark so that way we can get those currency. The materials are for various different things. So the Realm Reborn ones, for instance, those allied seals, my favorite thing to get with those is these Aetheryte tickets. It allows you to teleport to a location free of charge. So like when I teleported to Palakistan, it prompted me because I have it set so if it's over 1,000 gil for the teleport, it'll ask me if I want to use an Aetheryte ticket. I was like, yes, I do want to use an Aetheryte ticket. I got that teleport completely for free, rather than spending 1.6k gil to teleport from where I was at to this Aetheryte. For some of the other ones, like Centurio seals, you can get, there are quite a few different things that you can get with Centurio seals. One of my favorite things is getting some of the old artifact gear. But with the reason people are doing the Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawn Trail ones, like there's actually a decent number of people here. The reasons for these is because at in-game, when you use tomes to get gear, that's not automatically augmented. And using these nuts allows you to get the materials that you need to augment your gear. What augmenting the gear does is it increases the item level and stats. Essentially taking, like if these were, like with these pieces, it would take these item level 770 pieces and turn them into item level 5 or 780 pieces. And increase the stats accordingly with that item level raise. And it's similar with, let me switch to Ninja for just a second. Like these pieces, so like this is an augmented piece here. It basically took that regular piece of gear and turned it into a high quality and raised its item level. it also makes for an easy way to get tomestones for the week. So like I got poetics and mathematics from these ones. But with the Dawn Trail ones, you get the current tomestones. And it gives you an alternative way of getting all of that without having to run dungeon after dungeon after dungeon, you know? Because running these dungeons can be just like, ugh, I really have to run that again. They get old after a while. This also gives like a nice, chill and relaxing way of getting those tomestones because, like, yes, I know in this case it looks extra easy because, like, all of us are level 100 taking down level 90s. But even, like, if you get enough people doing these, it's all easy. It's very relaxed. It's very chill. Yes, there are typically, especially when an odd number patch comes out like this, a lot of people do tend to come because that is when you can use the hunt currency to augment gear and increase it. And one reason people like this so much for augmenting gear is because the alternative is to run Savage content. Or you could do, let's see, he said switch the instance too. The other way you could do it is you can do alliance raids every week, and each week that you run the alliance raid, you get a coin. And you could only get that one, you only get one coin per week. Whereas with nuts, you can get as many nuts as you want to. So it allows you to bypass that weekly cap of the alliance raids, and it keeps you from having to run Savage content in order to get yourself some better gear. Because, like, for instance, like, for people like me, I don't have time to hop into Party Finder and run that hard Savage content. Nor do I have the mental capacity to deal with the Party Finder for that. Like, I would probably cry. But at least with this, you could get gear pretty easily. It does take quite a few marks to get that gear, but it's still a pretty chill experience. And these are the A mark. Yes, it is pretty painful. Like, I've seen randoms that because you could mark the search so that they have to have cleared the content before they can join the party, for instance. They'll join as a completely different role. I've also heard horror stories where someone wanted to join a level 100 Savage as a conjurer. And I was like, I can you actually clear without your jobstone? Like, what? And they didn't want to eat food to increase their stats. They were minimum eye level with no materia melded, so they also didn't have stats from that. Like, it was, I'm like, oh my gosh, that, no. That's a no for me. At least for stuff that's chill like this, like I don't care what people's item levels are. I don't even care if they're wearing their jobstone. Like, if they could, so long as they get a couple swings in on there, it's totally good. And that's really all you need with these hunt trains, is you just need to hit it a couple times. And that's about it. Especially if you're in a full party like what I'm in right now. And especially when you've got tanks that all have tank stance, because with tanks, it's all enmity base. And having your take stance on, throw your weapon to increase your immunity because the additional effects of your ranged ability as a tank is going to increase your immunity. Do that a couple times, and you're solid. You're going to get full credit. Like they could even die. That is perfectly okay. Like if they're on the ground, it's fine. It is totally fine. No, I don't know which way he's gonna face. The right face. I'm just gonna be behind him because. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there's gonna be a couple people that are gonna get eaten here, and they're gonna die. I think one of them's in my party too. Oh, never mind. We got them down before they got eaten. But if they had gone down, it's like it would have been fine. Like one of us could have swapped to a healer and just raised them. It's so super chill. I've tried some. I just haven't tried any in a really long time. Like honestly, I would say this is far and away my main MMO. And then I played World of Warcraft before this one, and I started dabbling in it again recently, just like a little bit. As far as other MMOs go, like I've tried them. Like I tried out New World and played it like very briefly, but nothing to the extent that I've played this game or even WoW. They are definitely the ones I've spent the most time in. But I would say between this one and WoW, like such different vibes. And I'm sure even with the with other MMOs, same deal. Like it's just such different vibes. Oh, wait. Come on, let me click on the dang aetheryte. Like one of my things as far as like when I came from WoW to this game, I definitely had to play DPS because I was so I'm like heading towards where I have some sort of quest instead of to the flag, where they're all heading for this next mark. But like I especially couldn't tank. I had extremely bad tank side. I was also a little anxious about healing because I remember healing in WoW and so many times running out of mana. And I was just like, it was just not my jam. But then coming to here, I'm like, for dungeons, I actually prefer healing. I actually hate playing a melee DPS in dungeons in this game. And it's not necessarily because playing melee DPS is bad or anything like that. I just feel like I could never keep up. And then I can't, like, I can't ever properly burst. I can't properly line anything up, and it gets on my nerves. And healing, like, so long as I stay with the tank, I'm good. I'm good. I just pop a sprint, fly to them, throw some AoEs out, like, especially playing Sage. I play a very mean and aggressive Sage in dungeons, and I'm like, this is so much fun. And there are plenty of times where I'm like, you know what, I don't mind playing Warrior in a dungeon. There's no way I would want to do that in WoW unless I knew everybody that was going to be leveling with me and partying with me, because my anxiety still with that game is still too bad. Like I don't remember all the dungeons. I don't remember the optimal routes. I don't remember where I need to hang left or hang right or line of sight the enemies, or which enemies need to be stunned, and all of that stuff. Like I don't remember all of those things. I remember like, because I started playing World of Warcraft part of the way through Wrath of Lich King original, not uh, not the more recent one, like many years ago. So my first full expansion of World of Warcraft was Cataclysm, and Cataclysm was very, very particular at launch as far as doing specific mechanics right. And making sure that you properly crowd controlled and all of that stuff. And I'm like, I don't remember who all needs crowd controlled and where and all of that stuff. Like I don't remember that. I'm not going to remember that. I'm just going to do as I'm told, and that was what made playing a DPS so much easier in that game. But in 14, I don't have to worry about remembering all of that. Oh no! Oh no! Hopefully it's an okay call. Let's see. Okay. Boss is calling about work-related things. The audacity. So many people in the shout chat are shouting thank you because they're used to that zone being the last one for Endwalker trains. Conductor does not follow the norms. I was like, we definitely haven't hit everything up. Ah, hunt trains are so nice. And then for anyone that is curious as to how these flags are popping up on my map, typically there's a conductor for these trains that organizes everybody and points us all in what direction we're going to go. To coordinate everything, because we can't all be in the same party or anything like that, they utilize shout chat to conduct all of us, to give us coordination and say, hey, here's where that next A rank is at. And we just click on it in shout chat. We go to that location. That was definitely not a good button on my combo, but you know, it is what it is. But that's how they coordinate things, and honestly, that is why typically, hey Euler, how's it going? Finishing up a Endwalker train. Just chilling and vibing. And have fewer people than what we saw Friday night on that very, very large train. Aww! They interrupted the Marine Mayhem! I've only seen Marine Mayhem with this guy go off once, and I just remember it being complete and total chaos. So that's why I'm like, aww. Okay. Let's see. Next place, next place, next place. So even though this one doesn't have as many people as what we saw on Friday, these marks are still going down relatively quickly just because since this is an Endwalker train and all of us are level 100s for the most part, everything melts down much faster. If this were a Dawn Trail train, it would probably be taking a little bit longer than what this is taking. But honestly, the participation in this train is more than what I expected for a Wednesday afternoon. But I also, like, I shouldn't have expected nighttime numbers. There we go. Now I think we hit the last mark for Endwalker trains. Oh, he does want to do a couple Shadowbringers ones. He did say something about there being few Shadowbringers ones, but there just weren't very many. And he did a Dawn Trail one earlier today, at like 11:30 or something like that. So he probably just wants to get this these couple stragglers knocked out so that way they're all ready for the nighttime people or the evening people at a more uniform time to try to do it as a triple train. Do. That should be enough. There are only three marks of Shadowbringer, so someone was hungry today. That's not very... Yeah, 3 is very few marks. Wow. That is... That's, yeah, maybe someone did a train that just wasn't announced anywhere or something. I don't know. Let me grab. There we go. And oh, nice. Glad there was no crisis. Okay, looks like we're fishing up it because he ended up taking us to a couple Shadowbringer zones for a couple marks, but he said there's only like 3 or so A ranks. So it's not going to be like a full train of A ranks or anything like that. But just knocking them out to get a few more nuts. And like I said, like with Dawn Trail A ranks, I would get the mnemonic tomes, but because these trains were Endwalker plus a couple Shadowbringers marks, not getting any mnemonics, just getting mathematics and just getting like very few mathematics, some poetics, but definitely quite a few nuts. Oh, he said there were 3, and this is definitely mark 4. Um, Getting the 40 nuts for sure is absolutely worth it. But especially the current expansion trains, if you're at in game for getting those tomes, it's just such a nice change of pace from being like, okay, I have another round of daily dungeons to run, like my daily roulettes. Like I'm not a fan of running daily roulettes. It gets boring. Whereas especially like sometimes with hunt trains you can see some chaos. Like this, like sometimes it could get a little boring. Like the ones that I've shown on stream have like they haven't been exciting or thrilling or anything like that. No chaos has been happening. We saw the chaos get interrupted earlier. Like I wanted that mayhem to happen, but no. But sometimes it doesn't get interrupted. And sometimes you're going to see mass chaos happening, a whole bunch of people dying, and it could be a lot of fun. Beyond the A ranks, there are also the S ranks that can also give you currency as well. Those ones are worth doing on any expansion for sure, because those ones are going to give you the maximum results. But even at, like, even if I were to join, like, a party for doing a Shadowbringers S rank, for instance, those could still be really not gnarly and everything. Yes, it is fun. Yes, that is a good quote. And it's totally true. Whoop, someone has disbanded the party. Yeah, it brings so much chaos and it brings so much entertainment to just see something different happening. Whereas we were burning through everything so fast, you didn't get to see a whole lot of mechanics, you didn't get to see a whole lot of interesting stuff. But sometimes that's also really good because easy way to get a whole bunch of currency. But let me talk about some of the older expansions and their currencies and build up to the current currency and its usefulness. The older trains, like there aren't really trains anymore for the older expansions because those were really done for A ranks, and A ranks can be taken out by a couple people pretty easily on site, especially if like you're level 100. Like you could very, very easily take out a Realm Reborn A rank because they're only level 50. But even if you don't see the A ranks or anything like that, each day you could go after you've unlocked the hunt board, which I think you could unlock at level 50. I'd have to double check my TikTok video. I made a video that talked specifically about the quests and unlocking it and everything like that. But every day and once a week, you can get these bills for any expansion. Yeah, let us, we can see it. With these bills, they're all going to be B ranks, which can be handled solo. Oh no, okay. I will tread water. I tread water during Agile. Why is it not typing? There we go. Okay, let's see. Let me... You know what? I'm going to throw out, be right back, but get a drink real quick. And then as soon as Agile is done, I am... oh, thank you for subscribing! Thank you, thank you, thank you! Nothing like a Prime subscription to get you out of Agile. Yes, be gone, ads! Be gone! We don't want you here! Especially just unprompted. Yeah, the only reason I have it automatically do ads every once in a while is just because I want it to not have the pre-roll ads, because there's nothing more annoying than as soon as you hop into someone's stream and it's like, guess what? Like, no. So it just automatically rolls ads every so often too. Yeah. Yeah. Badges. I think so. It depends on how long you roll them for. You could either do 3 minutes every hour or a minute and a half every 30 minutes. And I think I have it set to a minute and a half every 30 minutes because I think that 3 minutes of ads, I know for me, my attention span would be completely gone in 3 minutes. Some people do like that because it allows them 3 minutes to be able to get up and get a stretch break and all that stuff. After I am going to be doing, I'm going to be like moving my desk to a different room, so that way I'm like not in the middle of my house in a very, very large open space. When I move that desk or move my desk and everything, I will actually have my desk in standing mode and stuff, so I'll be able to like move around and stretch and everything, even as I'm streaming. So yeah, I was like, I think a minute and a half is probably a little bit more ideal for anybody who's not me. But anyhow, these hunt marks. Every day you can get new bills, and you could get 3 sets of bills. Each of those bills, there'll be 5 in each of those sets. The first set is going to be the easier ones. Around Reborn, you only get 1 set, but the other expansions, because you can unlock them at different level ranges. Around Reborn, you can only unlock them at level 50, but like in Heaven's Ward, you get 3 different sets. You get a beginner set, an intermediate set, and a I have considered those redeems. At the moment, the only redeems that I do have, one of them I have is a text-to-speech, but any subscriber, so since you're subscribed with Prime, you get text-to-speech for free without having to do any sort of redeem or anything like that. And if you just do !TTS in the lead of your text, so long as I have it properly fixed, since I swapped from Mint to Nabara, so long as I have it properly fixed and configured, what should happen is the carbuncle will read your message. At least that's what should be happening. No! Carbuncle, read the message! Damn it, Carbuncle! Why aren't you reading it? Oh, it might have to be lowercase. Let me, hold on. Let me test this. Damn it, Carbuncle. Told you not to stay up too late, Carbuncle. Yeah, the last time I tested it out, it's been about a week since I tested it out. I need to be better about testing it more frequently. It should be reading it. Like, that's the point of Carbuncle! Is to share all of your messages with voice and everything. I must have broken it. As I want to do. I have a tendency to go around breaking everything. That's just how I roll. And it doesn't help that my latest thing has been, I've been trying to set up Home Assistant. I know, poor Carbuncle decided they can't read now. Like, I need to talk to Tataru about this. I need to be like, Tataru, what happened here? We need Carbuncle reading. Like, bad enough that Tataru let the Carbuncle run away. Because she's so dang powerful and everything. But now she's making it so it's not reading. But anyhow, with these marks, you get the currency related to their expansion. So I was in a browser tab for a second. I was on Twitch there, so I accidentally my keybind for opening currency apparently decided to go into the inspector screen for the web browser. So I was getting sacks of nuts from that train because it was an Endwalker and Shadowbringers content. For Realm Reborn, you're going to get allied seal. And for each of these marks, up like the harder ones or the ones that are more of a pain in the ass to get. So like for instance, this guy more than likely is tied, and this guy more than likely tied behind a fate. That's the annoying part about the Realm Reborn ones. But these ones are only 8 allied seals. You can probably find those out in the open and get them pretty quickly. And then this guy that's right here, when you talk to him and go to trade in your allied seals and for other, you can trade it in for ventures if you want to. Personally, I think it's a waste to do it on ventures. Better get Aetheryte tickets. The reason I say I think ventures is a waste is because you can use Grand Company seals, you can use wolf marks, you can use so many other things to get those ventures for your retainers. It's not that ventures themselves are a waste, it's that there are other ways to get them. However, Aetheryte tickets, specifically the Aetheryte tickets that allow you to teleport anywhere, these ones, your options are limited, pretty much allied. And doing these marks is one of the most accessible ways to get those. Otherwise, you're trying to find A ranks that don't always spawn. Now, the B ranks will spawn when you grab the mark, or when you grab the bills. So that's not as big of a problem with trying to get the spawn. But otherwise, you're waiting on A ranks, waiting on S ranks, or you're doing blue mage. And it's like blue mage, I'm not knocking on blue mage by any means. I do like blue mage. Blue mage is a lot of fun in my opinion. However, I completely understand blue mage is not for everybody. Like it just isn't. And that is perfectly fine. That it's not for everybody. That's the reason I'm saying that it's not completely accessible, because it's like, it's just not everybody likes blue mage content. But if you have blue mage, you can get allied seals pretty quickly that route too. And it's just once a week as opposed to having to worry about stuff every day. Oh, I should have gone to the Miners Guild because I remember how to get there from the Miners Guild. That was me being silly. But with your blue mage content, you go into the Mass Carnival, and the Mass Carnival is going to give you weekly challenges, which are indicated by these stars, and completing those challenges, like, so this one in particular, I'm going to scale this window up. There we go. We can actually see it. This particular challenge, I have, I haven't forgotten, Euler. I haven't forgotten. So my weekly target, this one is the harder challenge that I have for the week. The gold stars, my harder challenge. And I have to complete this particular challenge. And I have to complete elemental mastery and 10 ways to die. Which are very specific kinds of challenges. Like, if I recall correctly, elemental mastery means I have to use so many spells that utilize different elements. Like, I have to use like fire and wind and water and like all that stuff. And then 10 ways to die. I can't remember what 10 ways to die is off the top of my head. I would have to double check the Blue Mage Guide to remember all of those requirements. But completing this challenge, I get 300 allied seals. That's a lot of allied seals. Like, that's so many Aetheryte tickets. This one, this novice challenge, I just have to take these guys out. All I gotta do. And I get 100 allied seals. I don't have any extra little things in the weekly target window. It doesn't have any extra challenges there. Whereas the Much Ado About Pudding one, there are things. There we go, down here. Sorry, the reason it looks so confusing for me is because my cursor shows up on a completely different screen than my game does for some reason. It has something to do with how I'm capturing things in OBS, and I'm still trying to fix that glitch. But here, with the Elemental Mastery and 10 Ways to Die, it means that I have to do specific things in addition to completing the carnival acts in order to get the reward. And the silver one is going to have a challenge, like Mastery of Fire. It means I have to use so many different fire spells. I can't remember how many different fire spells I'd have to use. And then I get 150 allied. So you get a lot as a reward for Blue Mage. But as I said, I also understand that Blue Mage is just not for everybody. Completely understandable. Because it's like, for this mass carnival, it's like, it's not just a matter of leveling Blue Mage, which honestly, like I've said in past streams, leveling it is the easy part of Blue Mage. Like, it's actually so super easy to level Blue Mage. Getting the spells is what's annoying, because getting the spells, you probably want to run the content synced, and you can't just use regular Duty Finder in order to queue up for different instances and stuff, in order for obtaining those skills that are locked behind trials and locked behind dungeons and stuff. The reason you want to run it synced is because running it unsynced greatly reduces your chance of getting or of obtaining those spells. Whereas running it synced, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get this. So it's like, it's a very big challenge for people as far as like what they do. Now, I've completed everything except for this very, very last one, because I don't even remember why I gave up on this one, but I completely gave up on the last challenge. But let me, just to illustrate why this isn't necessarily for everybody. So let me also, let's see, enter the mass carnival. This was called Some Like It Excruciatingly Hot. So I'm going to switch the screen share here. There we go. Now we can actually see my cursor because I'm in screen share. But the reason I am in screen share is because I'm going to open up a website. And where do I have my Blue Mage guide saved at? I've got so many bookmarks, it's kind of ridiculous. Oh, like I have my spreadsheet for where I have, or like my savings for all of my, like tracking all of my spells. Let's see, that's awkward. There we go. I'm gonna grab this link. I'm gonna throw it in chats. That way, if anybody needs that. But also, while I'm in the chats, I'm also going to throw in, forgot that one of the things I had done was I had grabbed that Discord link is for a Discord server that I use for keeping track of when hunt trains are going to happen. They will typically ping based upon what type of hunt it is, or what type of train it's going to be and things like that. They do it for S ranks, they do it for A ranks. They will also do like special fates, all kinds of different stuff. But the first link is this particular guide that I have up on my screen. And the reason I wanted this guide up is because this guide walks through everything you need for Masked Carnival. Excuse me. Now, generally, it's like, okay, here's some recommendations for like, yes, it is super, 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 super in depth to the point that it's like, okay, here are specific fights and their spells. So, like, the one that I am curious about is Fight 11. Some like it excruciatingly hot. And looking here, it doesn't look like it needs a very specific spell because it has this list in order. So it's like 7, 8, and then 12. Probably want something specific. So nothing too extremely terrible. Other thing that it has is when you scroll down further on the site, like it will actually like lay things out. So like some like excruciatingly hot is actually a very short description. Not as short as number 10 there. It's just like death spells won't work, so just DPS the guy down. But then it's like, okay, some like excruciatingly hot. The arena gas bombs will immediately start casting fulmination when aggroed. If they get the cast off, you will die, but any hits on them resets the cast and also knocks them back. Spam Hydro Pull until they're dead. Death and free spells don't work. And that thing you did in Act 1, just stand in the arena and do it again. So Blue Mage is very much a gimmicky job. So let's see. Do I have... Oh, hey, actually. Do I have Hydro Pull put on my bar at the moment? Hydro Pull, Hydro Pull, Hydro Pull. I'm trying to remember what that spell even looks like. No, that's like, I remember it was a Stormblood spell. Cold Fog, that's and I don't have these spells memorized by their number. There's way too many of them to... There's Hydro Pull. Hydro Pull is number 97. I don't have it on my hotbar. So it looks like I need to remove something from my hotbar. Let's see. Oh, probably not Angel Snack. Let's go with, what does Ultra Vibration do? Nah, we'll remove that one. Like I have Hydro Pull. Okay. Like, it is super, super, super in-depth, that particular guide. To the point that it's like, okay, one of the spells that you pretty much always want to have for the Masked Carnival as a Blue Mage is you always want to have Etheric Mimicry. And what I'm going to do with this one, because I want these guys to die quickly, I'm going to find a DPS. You're like, hello, DPS. I mimic you. I am now a DPS. If I wanted to be a tank, I could target this tank here with this paladin and say, hey, I mimic you. And then suddenly I'm a tank. Etheric Mimicry, what it's going to do is it's going to gear your spells more like that particular role, which is the main reason why they don't let Blue Mage go into regular content, because it could be anything. It could be a healer, it could be a tank, it could be DPS. So it's like no, that's too OP. You still get like different things like my Angel Snack here. I can still heal, but I get extra bonuses if I am spec'd like as though I'm a healer. So, but because I'm just going to go in and damage these guys down, like just for my 100 allied seals, I want to be able to do as much damage as possible. Okay. And the reason it says do Hydro Pull is because it's just going to keep sucking them into me and interrupting their cast timer. So that's why that site was just like, you know what, just spam Hydro Pull, because you don't want them to get this spell off. You don't want them to not be near you because it's hard to toggle them. So Hydro Pull is just going to suck them right in, so that way you can more easily interrupt. And you've only got so much range. It is definitely a gimmicky fight when it comes to Lumate. All of them are gimmicks. And it's just a matter of how good are you at exploiting those gimmicks. And when you have guides like that give you information to help you with exploiting gimmicks, it makes getting, like, I just got 100 allied seals just for doing that. It makes the process a lot easier. But I also get it. It, like, that was one thing. Like, that was pretty easy. But for me to go into looking at this one, this much ado about pudding, and be like, oh, I need to do elemental mastery and 10 ways to die. So, let's see. Don't need anything special. This trial Zoo Court. 3 stages you need to clear to earn Angel Whisper. That's not what I need. All the fights are level synced, but I mean, you don't lose access to any of your spells or anything like that when you're level synced. So, like, being level synced really doesn't matter for Blue Mage. You lose a few stats. That's about it. There should be somewhere on here that talks about the specific challenges, though. Let's see. I don't need the fight-specific spells and the fight-specific strategies. I need... Let's see. Okay. Like, they updated it for, like, level 50, and they actually talk about getting it to 80 quickly, but I don't remember what these other things are. So, elemental mastery. Let's just do... Okay, not on this page. I swore it was on. That may be something that they moved on to something else. This recommends spells. Multi-act fights, you cannot swap your spells. Not the info I needed. We're just going to Google it. Yes, so let's see if just the regular wiki page has it. I know this information is out here somewhere that says exactly what each of these completion requirements are. So you want to consider both the particular skills that takes for it, but you also want to, like, you want to consider both things. So, like, for instance, with this much ado about pudding, that elemental mastery, as I said, I'm pretty sure it's I have to use so many different elements, if I recall correctly. So, they have, like, several suggestions as far as what to do between the two acts. Like, Act 2 is just going to be doing the same thing that you did in Act 1. But they're like, you can do what the challenge wants you to do, which is just go and take a variety of elemental spells and hit the slimes with their weakest element. Because you could actually go in here and check each of the enemies and see, okay, this one's weak to wind, this one's weak to ice, and this one is weak to earth, and try to focus on what each of them are weak to. If you don't have a cursor and are hovering them like that, you can look at them over to the side here and go up and down that way. And then Act 2, they also have different elements. So like this elemental mastery leans into what this particular challenge wants you to do. But the site was like, you can just drag them to you with Hydropole and use death because they're vulnerable to death. You could also just freeze them with Ram's Voice and then use Ultra Vibration. The reason this is also an OP way of doing things is because Ram's Voice is an AoE freezing spell. And then Ultra Vibration is a lightning spell. And how this lightning spell works is it's also AoE, but if the things hit with Ultra Vibration are frozen, they will instantly die. So this ends up being an OP thing for Blue Mage, particularly for anything that is vulnerable to being frozen by something like Ram's Voice. So it's like, okay, that's an option. Like they're also vulnerable to those, but they're invulnerable to physical spells. That like the game actually wants you doing elemental mastery. They actually want you using the different spells to actually utilize their weaknesses and stuff and get rid of them that way. But let's see. Haha. Yes, so here's what the different things are. So 10 ways to die. I have to use 10 or fewer unique spells. Okay? So I can't use too many options. And it's like if I didn't have elemental mastery, this 10 or fewer spells would be easy to do. Like I could just use a couple AoEs. Yes, they are very, very, very specific. Again, it's why I'm like, I get why Blue Mage is not for everybody. I get it. I get it. Like, some people really just want to grab the marks and just kill them. But for people that are like, look at something like this as like a puzzle, like this could be a lot of fun for some people. Like I could see both sides of that coin. Yeah. Yes. Like with marks, yes, you could totally red mage and vibe easily with marks. One of my favorite things to do with marks, especially when I'm just doing the B rank marks and stuff, I just get my chocobo out and run whatever I want to get some experience on, do a little bit of damage. My chocobo's got a lot of the work, and it's all good. But Blue Mage, yeah, you gotta think a lot more as far as getting these allied seals. Like, they're not making getting these 300 seals easy by any means. Like, there's a reason you get 300 instead of 8. And, I mean, even with the marks, there's a reason some of them you get 20 instead of 8. Like, those 20s, you're waiting on a fate for a while. Whereas the other ones, you just get 8 because you go to wherever they're spawning at and you take them out. But here it's like with much ado about putting with my 10 ways to die, I have to use 10 or fewer spells. I have to be very strategic about those 10 spells that I use, but then I also have to use or do elemental mastery. Let's see, enfeeble. It's not what I'm looking for. Where's elemental mastery? Oh, there it is. Cast spells aspected to all 6 elements. So it's like, okay, there's already all of my spells. It's just trying to make sure I have stuff for each of the elements. So trying to plan that out and coordinate it can be a challenge. Whereas like this one, it was pretty easy to just run in and do whatever was easy. And then my Beauty and the Beast, I have Mastery of Fire that I have to do. And let's see, with Mastery of Fire, I could only cast fire aspected spells. So whatever that particular challenge wants. So yes, I can't do what the suggestion is here from the guide because it says I should use like level 5 death, which I think that's unaspected. That one I could do. But if I do Ram's voice with ultraviolet or ultra vibration, that's what they mean by UV is ultra vibration. I can't do Ram's voice with ultra vibration because Ram's voice is aspected with ice. So that would make me lose my Mastery of Fire completion requirement for this. But I believe Missile is one that's unaspected, but like I could try to use unaspected death skills, but let's see. It's like, okay, done the succubus, so I'd have to make sure I used an unaspected stun or a fire aspected stun. And I don't think anything in my kamikaze, in their suggested kamikaze or in my kamikaze, which is what they use, call like an instant, like pretty much at the end of that combination, you will not only kill them, but you're going to kill yourself. It's okay if you die at the end of Mass Carnival, so long as the enemy also dies. But that's what they mean by the kamikaze, is that you are doing a combination of abilities that is going to do a ton of damage, but you're going to die too. But let's see. I might go ahead and try this challenge. Just to kind of plan this one out. I probably won't do the much ado about putting, because I think that one, I think watching me plan it out will get so boring. Exactly. If I go out, they're going out with me. And that is 100% a Blue Mage vibe. And a lot of the reason people do like Blue Mage is that you could typically, like, especially like with old content, you have a tendency to be able to do old content even faster with Blue Mage, because you just kamikaze and take them out and you go out at the same time. And just burn it down so fast. But like some of the other jobs and stuff, you still have to hit them gradually. But Blue Mage, like, you could pretty much kill them and yourself before they've even been aggroed on certain enemies. So, okay, so with these guys, this one I can only use fire aspected or unaspected abilities. I cannot use anything that does not have, or that has a different aspect. So like Tingle. Tingle is going to be aspect with lightning, I'm pretty sure. Yes, deals lightning damage. I can't use that. Whistle. This one is perfectly okay. Just says it increases potency. That one's fine. Angel Whisper, that's not a damage ability. That's a healing ability. Let's see. Mute Flute, I'm pretty sure that one's a boosting ability for me. But Serpanaka. This one's one that that doesn't look like it's earth damage. I would have assumed that this ability was unaspected. So let me go in from behind so we can I blew through all of the charges of it. But it doesn't look like it's aspected. But it is. It deals earth damage. This is an ability from a Heaven's Word trial. Like, if I were to guess that this was aspected, I would have guessed that that was a wind ability. But it's not. It says deals earth damage, so can't use that one for this. This one deals ice damage. Can't use that one. This one's unaspected, so I can use Rose of Destruction on these guys. Final Sting is physical damage. Physical damage is fine, so long as it's not a like, so long as, let's see, so long as it's fire. And as I said, I'm pretty sure unaspected is fine. Yes, it says cast Cast only fire or unaspected spells. So I'm actually going to even play it safe and not even do Final Sting. It actually does suck because these 4 abilities, Moon Flute, Whistle, Off Guard, Final Sting, that's my kamikaze. I might try it with those. But let's see. I need to remove Shroopanaka. This one. Shroopanaka. Need to remove that. I'm also going to switch OBS back to just game mode here. Let's see. Song of Torment. That is unaspected. That's a heal. Move quickly. Final Sting. I'm going to try it with Final Sting. I'm going to leave it. But Ram's Voice, this one is my ice damage for all enemies. And it does deep freeze. Shock Strike, that is a lightning ability. Moon Flute is just a buff for me. Gobskin, also a buff for me. Sonic Boom is wind damage. Whistle, buff for me. Exugation is a heal. Etheric Mimicry is buff for me. There's Shroopanaka. As we covered, that one's earth damage. Can't use earth damage. Resurrection. Tingle is lightning damage. Can't use it. Cold Fog heals ice. Can't use it. Angel Snack. That's a heal. Ultra Vibration is... Yes, so this is where that Ram's Voice really plays well into this Ultra Vibration because the Ram's Voice puts them in deep freeze, and then you use Ultra Vibration. It has a long recast timer, but it will instantly KO those enemies. But because and it shares a recast timer with level 5 death. Because I'm not using any, like using Ram's Voice, I'm going to go ahead and remove Ultra Vibration. Rose of Destruction, I can keep that. That is unaspected damage. Hydro Pole is water damage. Can't use it. Okay. So that wiped out so many of my abilities. I only have like a couple damage abilities, so now I can go back through and actually like try to put some fire spells on here. Like there's like Flamethrower, like there's all kinds of different options for different spells. Let's see, 1500. Potency of 2000. Just to be safe, because I don't know if I could use physical damage. Yes, there's so much to it. There's so much. Just to play it safe, I will use self-destruct in my kamikaze instead of Final Sting. It doesn't do as much damage. It's 1500 potency instead of 2000 potency. I want to make sure that I'm using fire spells. Yes, that I feel like that's totally fair. Yeah, it's like leveling. This is why leveling with blue is the easy part. Because with blue, so long as you have this flying sardine and a high level friend that's not in your party willing to follow you around and stuff, you just spit a sardine at a baddie and they can come up behind you and kill the baddie and you get the experience for it. Makes leveling blue so super easy. You just run along a beach and preferably one in Thavnair. Just run along the beaches there. Spit some sardines at the baddies there. Have someone run along behind you, killing them. You get a ton of experience. Takes maybe an hour to level. Getting all these spells, planning all these spells when you go to do things. Physical fire damage. I don't know if physical fire damage is okay. But you get... Why do I still have Feather Rain? I don't want Feather Rain. Um, yeah, it's like it takes so long to plan for Mass Carnival, and then getting all these spells takes a while. Like I'm still missing spells. Like I still have an Alpha Escape and a Delta Escape to go get. More Alpha Escape, Hell's Cure, Asher Fluminous, Hero's Gauntlet. Oh my god, I miss Hero's Gauntlet. I'm behind. Oh, and Eden. Oh my gosh, I definitely didn't do the Eden ones. I have to do Dancing. No, I thought I was done with Dancing Plague. But I'm not so far behind that I don't have my drippy spell. I at least have that one. Delivers damage over time with the potency of this one in a straight line before you. Sure, well, I don't even know what that one does. We're just going to see what it does. Never used it. Should be interesting. Where did that one even go on my bar? There it is. Just going to throw it somewhere. I don't even care where it goes right now. Candy Cane. Unaspected damage. You know what? Sure. I'm going to go with it. I'm just going to go with some ridiculous stuff because I'm ready to just fight whatever's in here. I don't even care. I don't even care. And hopefully I don't accidentally cast something that ended up being aspected because I had a Garuda spell on my hotbar. So, okay. Hopefully I didn't give myself only things that could be on timers. Okay. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but it's doing something. Kinda damaging. Give myself a little bit of a heal here. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a Calm Cure. No, I healed myself. Okay. I need something with a little bit more of a oomph for damage. Sometimes it is just going in like that just to see how something's going to go. Okay, that was from Mount Gulg. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember doing some of these. I'm like, I don't remember going into Mount Gulg as Blue Mage, but you know what? Sure. I'll accept that. Let's see. Deals has okay, that's a regular global cooldown. Straight line before you, potency. I need something that's a single target. I need some single target. Like, let's see. Earth, no. Physical, no. That's ice. That's physical. I mean, Blood Train, I guess, could be fine. Not gonna be amazing, but it's fine. Fire damage. That's an AoE, but... Knockback. Don't really need Diamondback. I will go ahead and grab myself. Oh, actually, no, I don't want that. I forgot. Nope. I forgot. I don't want that. I don't want that. So the reason I was like, wait, I don't want that is because with Mighty Guard, so it sounds great. But what it does is it reduces damage taken by 40%, which is really, really great, especially if you are wanting to play tank spec because you also increase your enemy generation. However, you reduce your damage dealt by 40% as well. And it's like, I don't want to reduce the amount of damage that I'm doing. I still want to do a good amount of damage, so... let's see. Draws target towards the caster, which can be really, really nice. This one's actually useful for some of the things. Sometimes you want to pull enemies to specific areas. Let's see. Come on. Deals 5 damage to the target. All enemies nearby. I don't want an AoE fire. I want a single target fire. That is going to be better than just spamming this damage over time one. Or at the very least, an unaspected single target. Ice, ice. Enemies asleep. Unaspected. And all enemies nearby it. And this one shares a recast timer with Candy Cane, which I already threw on my hotbar just to see what it's like. Oh. Very similar to a shirk there. Straight line before you. Unaspected damage is straight line before you. KO nearby enemies. Chance of success is low. Delivers attack to all nearby enemy, dealing... Has no effect on enemies whose level is higher than yours. Physical damage. Act guard. Unaspected damage. With a potency of 220. Sure. And I'm throwing these on my hotbar with absolutely no rhyme or reason. They're just going in random places at the moment. Unaspected damage to all nearby enemies. Threefold attack. It doesn't say if it's aspected or not. As lightning. Straight line. Hold. Earth damage. Unaspected. To all, yeah. All enemies, all enemies. Oh yes, I forgot I had Rose of Destruction on here, but Rose of Destruction has like a 30-second cooldown, so it's not one that I can sit there and just use all the time. Oh, I forgot that there was this basic instinct that removes the damage reduction from Mighty Guard, so I might actually remove something else. Let me remove... I'll get rid of Candy Cane. Mighty Guard. And... oh! Never mind. My bright idea was dumb. My bright idea was I was going to use Basic Instinct because Basic Instinct says ignores the damage penalty inflicted by Mighty Guard. But here's the importance of reading all of the notes there. This can only be used in duties intended for 2 or more players while playing alone, while no other party members are in the instance, or when all party members are incapacitated. Because Mass Carnival is intended for playing solo, that Basic Instinct part is not going to work. So there's no point in having Basic Instinct. No point at all. We're just going to try this again, just to give it another try. But there are definitely a lot of times where with Max Carnival, it just takes time and experimenting. Oops, I accidentally loomed to like right where that guy was at. Yes, thanks, Darius. Sorry that the YouTube chat is not showing up on screen. For some reason, I am using StreamerBot for my overscreen chat, and for some reason, it is just not. It is just like absolutely no on like YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. It was all linked up and everything. Damn it. Okay, yeah, I should have probably focused those two down. I'm going to give this one more try without even changing my spells. I should have focused those two in the back down while they were like petrified or something. Yeah, because it looks like they aren't going to be able to do anything. Yeah, they are petrified for like a full minute. Oops. And they hit like a truck, so I should be focusing them down, and then I can worry about this guy that's hitting me. This guy is not hitting for very hard, but those guys, when they come out of that petrified state, like, they hurt. Damn it. Forgot that perpetual ray just taking so much longer. There we go. Fire only. Fired unaspected only. Alright, next act. And sometimes between the acts, they will change things up. And yeah, so like, it's not like I'm looking at the same kind of baddies for this one. And it was like, just make sure you look away. And it's at about 65% I can use my kamikaze. I'm not going to do it quite yet just because I had to switch my kamikaze out for self-destruct because I didn't want to use physical damage. And using self-destruct is lower. But now I feel comfortable using it. There we go. Yeah, so even though I suicided at the end, I'm still going to get that full credit. I'm still going to, like you could see, I got my Mastery of Fire completed, so I am still getting the 150 allied seals. But as you guys could see, that takes a lot more planning and testing some things out and trying things, as opposed to just going to a board, grabbing the flyers for getting your marks, and taking down a handful of marks. It takes even more than waiting on a fate to spawn for getting 20 seals for a fate. Like, it definitely takes more work. It takes getting a lot of spells. It takes a lot more patience and practice and everything. But you can get a lot of allied seals that way. So now I could go back to any of those places. I'm going to go back to Gridania since that's where my grain company is, and go back to the Billmaster there and trade in my seals so that way I have those Aetheryte tickets. But that's one of the things that you can use hunt seals for. Let me sprint so that way I'm not taking as long to get there. Let's go, let's go. Okay, Hunt Billmaster, Allied Seals Other. So now I can get a whole or a pretty good amount of Aetheryte tickets. I've got 250, so I can get another 50 on top of what I already have. And there we go. Excellent use of those. And then for the Centurio seals, those ones are going to be useful in Heavensward and Stormblood content. So for Heavensward, we'll go over here to the Forgotten Knight because that's where board is here. Similarly, you can get B ranks from, so as you can see, there are different levels to them. And that is because typically, sorry, I had a cat decide that she wanted to come up. So I had to snag her. Level 1, you unlock it like level 52 or something like that. Yes, I set a minimum price. So how I do that is I went into the teleport settings on the teleport menu. So I just clicked on this cog. And I have an allowance of 1,000 gil. As I get more and more Aetheryte tickets, personally, I would get less and less stingy and reduce this price. However, I've honestly been pretty bad about getting my seals, so I go ahead and say confirm all costs above the skill allowance, and then I set it for 1,000 gil. At least that is my personal preference. Some people just say always confirm before use, or if they have a ton, like I know some people who have thousands of tickets, they're just like, you know what, just always use it. I don't even care about what the cost is, even if it's 30 gil, I don't care, just use it. But some people are like, you know what, I don't even want to see it if it's above 1,000 gil. So just always use it if it exceeds this skill amount. Personally, I just like to go ahead and confirm real quick. But I will say, especially if you do a lot of hunt trains or anything like that, when you need to travel quickly, I would probably just be like always use, so that way I don't have to worry about a pop-up or anything like that disrupting my teleporting experience. But those are just how I have it set up. You could set it up however you would like. And let's see. Don't even remember what those do. I did not mean to click that. Sorry, still cat aggro. You can also get Aetheryte tickets with the Centurio seals by the looks of things. So I'm actually going to go ahead and trade in my Centurio seals for Aetheryte tickets, so that way now I've got a healthy amount of Aetheryte tickets. And then, last but not least, with nuts, those are going to be Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawn Trail. With these sacks of nuts, right now, the main thing to get them for is at in-game. You want to trade those for the materials for augmenting or tome gear. So you can go to the hunt vendor and go to do sacks of nuts exchange, and then you're going to see solvents and twines. Your current ones are going to be I guess not solvent now, it's called glaze. Your glaze is going to augment your right side gear, so your accessories and stuff. Is only going to cost 2,000 per. Your twine is going to augment your left side gear, so all of your armor and everything. Those are going to cost 3,000 nuts per. I'm going to go ahead and dump 3,000 nuts to get a twine, so that way I can augment like a chest piece or leg piece, whatever. You don't need more twine for a chest piece or a leg piece or anything like that. You just need one for each, and that's all you need there. That's why so many people do hunt trains, particularly at a point or odd patch, because they unlock getting these via nuts, as well as getting them via alliance raids and everything. The alliance raids, as I said, you have a weekly cap with those, and especially this late in the game, you have to do all 3 alliance raids in order to augment gear. So you have to do not 1, not 2, but 3 alliance raids every week to get 1 coin from each of those, and you can augment 1 piece. 1. And it doesn't matter if it's right or left piece. You can only augment 1. Whereas with nuts, there's more of a disparity as far as how much each costs and things like that. So doing it with trains, so much nicer and easier. There are also other things that you can get with nuts and stuff like that. Like, I don't have the Automantoise identification key at the moment. I'm actually kind of surprised I don't. But you could get, like, there's a couple mounts, there's some minions, and things like that that you can unlock with nuts as well. So those are just some of the different things that you could do with those currencies from hunts and the benefits of doing those hunts. Alright, so with that, I am going to go ahead and wrap up stream for today. If you are not already in the Discord or Fluxer servers, yes, big dinosaurs. I love big dinosaurs. I actually forgot I had some dinosaur mounts and stuff in World of Warcraft that I was shocked by when I played it for the first time in a long time the other day. I was like, oh, I have a dinosaur. What? I don't remember this. Or I'd be like, oh man, I forgot about this mount. I really like that one. Anyhow, if you're not in the Discord or Fluxer servers, those are the main places for alerts and stuff like that for when I am going to go live and everything, especially like on days like today where I was so far behind. Like, I was like already like 5 hours behind before I even woke up this morning. And I woke up at my usual time. But those are where I put out most of my information, such as alerts for when I'm going to go live, alerts when I make posts. I've been super far behind on making posts, but after I move my desk and everything like that, I should be back to making various posts. If you would like to join either the Discord or Fluxer servers, you could type in !Discord for invite link to Discord, or !Fluxer for invite link to Fluxer. Either one's perfectly fine with me. I understand having privacy concerns when it comes to Discord, especially since I have so many privacy concerns right now when it comes to TikTok. Also, in either one of those servers, I have a lot of resources and stuff, including links to that Discord server that I shared earlier for the hunt trains. There are also links to some other resources as far as hunt trains and stuff goes, as far as hunt marks. And I'm almost positive I have that resource for Blue Mage. If I don't have it, I will make sure I add it. So that way that resource is there and available. There's also a ton of other resources available in my Discord server, as well as some awesome people who also have a wealth of knowledge in addition to my own that are happy to share all kinds of information. I do also want to note that this weekend is my daughter's birthday, so I will not be streaming this weekend. So Friday and Sunday both, I will not be streaming. So that way, all of my energy can focus on making her birthday weekend the absolute best birthday weekend for her. Thank you so much, David. It's always going to be fun for her birthday weekend because she has Memorial Day, and on top of that, when she was born a couple years ago, she was born on a full moon. It was chaos. So we get to celebrate the anniversary of the mass chaos of her being born. And I get to focus all of my energy on making that celebration of chaos as fun as humanly possible. Hoping that it doesn't rain so that way we can go to the zoo. If not, we've got the Children's Museum that we can at least go to and have her, like, she's definitely a very, very much a STEM brain. So I know that even if we have to go to like the Children's Museum or anything like that, she's going to have an absolute blast because, I mean, one of her most entertaining, or one of her forms of entertainment right now is just counting 1 through 10 and identifying the different numbers. She absolutely loves doing it. So I'm like, I know that I can find ways for her to have fun. I just want to make sure that all my energy is directed to her and making sure that it is the best second birthday ever. But with that, I want to say thank you all so much, as always, for being absolutely wonderful and amazing and being here with me. And thank you all so much for your patience. As I said, like, I know I am super far behind on making content. Like, I haven't really made any videos in like a month at least. I'm so sorry about that. I promise I really do plan on getting my crap together. It just, I always feel like I have some reason to keep delaying it. But I promise I will be getting my butt back in gear and making those video contents. If you stick around on, those of you that are on Twitch, yes, I will definitely try to join you guys soon for Wings, Darius. I will totally try. Those of you that are on Twitch, I will be raiding you guys out if you stick around. As soon as I find somewhere to raid you all out too. But otherwise, I want to wish you all a wonderful and fantastic rest of your Wednesday. A happy Wednesday, and I will see you all again next Wednesday for my next variety.